Sanitation is number 6 on the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. But it looks like a big deal in Africa. More so plastic waste. Plastic bags and plastic containers are very popular in Africa because they are easier to use. But there seems to be a rise against the use of plastic materials in Africa. Kenya, Tanzania, and other African countries have banned the use of plastic. What is the problem? My name is Hami Ibrahim Banangwini. You can call me the king of the jungle, the king of Africa. Today on Youth Talk Africa, we are talking about sanitation, plastic waste management. I have some sanitation experts to help me do the discussions. Okay, Mr. Nuruddin, there seems to be a problem with waste management in Africa. What do you think the problem is?
The problem in waste management in Africa, from my point of view, is that Africans need behavioral change. It seems to me that education is not gone to the level that Africans will understand how to manage their plastic waste. So therefore, I think authority should enforce on their education system so that people will be told the effect of their behaviors with respect to how they dispose their plastic waste onto the environment. Environment here, I am talking about water bodies inclusive. These plastic waste, bottle, plastic, polythene, and what have you, when thrown onto the environment, accumulate water and eventually breed insects, commonly known as mosquitoes. The most common one among the insects that it breeds, which mosquitoes. Yes, which can have a very disastrous effect on mankind in Africa. So therefore, plastic waste is actually a problem in Africa and needs to be looked at it. Yes, and then I would think our urge authorities to rather look onto the education aspect. Let the education goes down well. If people are told how to manage these things, or people are told the effects of these things, it will be properly managed, and then the problem elevated.
Okay, let me come to Madam Rabi. Please, what do you think should be done to help the situation, the bad sanitation situation we have in Africa, in Ghana, and then in Africa at large? What should be done?
Yeah, my brother has said it all. Actually, in Africa here, much education has not been done or has not reached to some particular group of people. Well, some are actually ignorant. So I believe that with a proper education, people might get to realize that disposing plastic waste indiscriminately really affects Africa.
Madam Vivian, please, what are some of the effects that plastic waste cause to the environment and to human beings that are inhabitants to this environment?
Actually, plastic waste is a big problem in Africa here. And as my brother said, I think studies was conducted. With this such a water we have been throwing away, when it rains, it collects water, or even there's still left over water small in the containers that we dispose. Each container breeds about 500 mosquitoes, which was conducted in one of the universities. So, and then more to the point, we litter them, and when it rains, it washes into our farmlands and what, which affect our farming capacity, that our crops are not well producing. And then there are so many instances that this plastic waste is just causing a harm to Africa.
Okay, so that means that plastic waste is really a big issue. And I would like to know, what you are a sanitation officer, what steps have you put in place? You talk about education. What have you been educating people? Who is even in charge? Who is supposed to educate people?
What is that? If you are talking of education, the MMDA, that is the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies, have officers that are known as environmental health officers. Some days ago, they were called the Sama people. They are still in the system, and they are the very people that are being taxed to do this education. So each and every day, they are visiting communities, telling people on how to properly dispose their the waste. Like my senior colleague said, 2 months ago in Tamale Metro Assembly, a professor was here to do her research, and then one of the research activity was that was to take this waste, plastic waste, especially to do her research. And during the period of her stay in Tamale Metro, she placed people, she taxed people at advantage places where people send sachi water, sachi bags, pure water, empty bags, and then other plastic waste for them to pay them and collect them for her to carry out with her research. So therefore, if authorities should establish a recycling company, these plastic waste, since people will be buying them to do recycling, it will be a cool opportunity for people to go and then dispose of some of these plastic waste. Yes.
Right. Honorable Sharif, you are an assembly member.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you do within your community to help this menace?
Thank you very much. Before I tackle on our contribution towards fighting poor sanitation in our communities, I want to state that one of the major effects of poor sanitation, especially indiscriminate disposal of waste, plastic waste, is the major cause of flooding in our communities. It's undisputable, because when you dispose them anyhow, when it rains, it washes them into our gutters. Our gutters would be choked, and when it rains heavily, when the water doesn't find its way, it will automatically generate its own way, and that will be leading into our homes and subsequently the destructions that comes with flooding. Especially in recent times, we have seen how flooding has affected the major cities in our countries, and we can blame this. I remember listening to the Eastern Regional boss of NADMO saying that in Ghana, saying that the major cause of flooding is because of choke gutters. And so we all have to come together as stakeholders to counter or fight this menace. And again, coming back to our contribution towards fighting poor sanitation, at the assembly level, we have bylaws that guide sanitation. For example, in the Honorable Municipal Assembly, we have bylaws that governs waste management. Not only plastic waste management, but generally waste management. When you discriminate or when you dispose waste inappropriately, there is a fine that you are supposed to pay. And this is done in collaboration with the traditional rulers, I mean our chiefs. So as an assemblyman, the first duty of call is to educate the people around us, make them understand that the effects of indiscriminate disposal of plastic waste, they would bear a greater share of the effect, not the officers who come to educate them. Because when there's any outbreak as a result of the poor sanitation, they are going to suffer.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll come to Mr. Osman. He has made mention of how flooding, plastic waste cause floods and other issues. You are a community person. You are also a politician. What are some of the things, the policies that government should put in place? I mean, to help people like Honorable Sharif and the community and the sanitation officers to be able to, fight this issue of indiscriminate disposal of waste.
Thank you for being part of your program. And first of all,
I'll commend my brother for the point making because he being assembly member. It's a canker that we are going through as a nation. But first of all, we need to educate. Education and sensitization is number one. We need to make the people understand that it's the responsibility of we, the people, not the authority. It's attitudinal change. If we are not ready to change, no authority can change us. So Mr. Sheriff and Co can do their work. They can speak to us, but it will leave to us whether we will take it into practice or not. So looking at this point, what are we going to do when it comes to waste management? We take it upon our leaders as if everything government must do or everything leaders must push funding into it. Currently, as we are speaking, research shows that Ghana is losing almost $300 million a year on sanitation, which could have been channeled to different aspects because we have boreholes and so on and so forth that we need to work on. But what are we going to do to make sure we also help the authority to do their work? If you tackle it at the point of our leadership, the state need to tackle this issue vigorously.
Some other countries has already banned plastic, the use of plastic in their countries, as I said earlier on. Isn't it the way to go? If you feel that people cannot manage the plastic waste better, isn't it better we ban it and be free?
No, why not channel it into a job creation system?
Because, all right.
Yes,
let me come. Honorable Sheriff, the issue of banning plastics. Isn't it the way to go? If managing it, the waste it brings is a problem, isn't it the way to go?
When you look at the issue of entirely banning plastic waste, I want to state clearly that some African countries like Ghana, we haven't gotten to the stage of entirely banning the use of plastic. Taking into consideration the role plastic plays in our economy and in facilitating business and daily life or daily activities. I want to say that it's not time yet, it's not ripe for us to ban the use of plastic waste, but we have to step up in managing plastic waste. We have to step up. We have to take measures. Government and assemblies have to create an enabling environment for the people, for the citizens to actually have a very clear system that enables them to dispose their waste. For example, there should be dustbins along routes. There should be various sites where refuse containers are kept so that households and other users of plastic can dispose them of there. And this has to do with complementing it with attitude. You can have a situation where an educated person, a highly educated person, drink sachet water and just dispose it anyhow. Even in a car, you dispose it after drinking. You don't keep it in your bag or keep it somewhere where you get to a dustbin and dispose it of there. After drinking, you just dispose it off. So this is an attitudinal problem.
So you mean that?
I want to state that government and assemblies should actually create that system, that friendly system that would help the citizens to be able to dispose of plastic waste. And again, the citizens, we must adopt the attitude of proper disposal of waste. That's what I have to say.
All right. Maybe he's talking from a business point of view. You are a technical person. Do you think that we should keep harboring plastic in this country? Don't you think the ban is something we should also have a look at?
Yeah, in a way, thank you so much. In a way, I support banning plastic. If you want to say plastic creates employment for some other people. Now, you look at the employment, the percentage of people that plastic actually employ, and then the end result of plastic after being used and disposed, not properly disposed, what it brings. So when you compare these things, From my angle, I think banning of plastic would actually be better and then solve the problem we are faced with.
Let me come to Madam Vivian. What do you also think about banning or managing plastic? Should we ban it or we should try to manage it?
Thank you very much. I would say it should be reduced, and then we try to manage it. As we used to say, it's attitudinal change. If we change our attitude, we'll be able to manage everything perfectly. First, as Honorable said, but placing litter bins by the streets, I think years back, the authority has tried it, but people collected all from the streets into their various homes. That means they need them in their various homes. So our pledge much effort that at least the authorities should try to provide more dustbin into every household, and then the collection, at least through the collection they will also assemble to get some revenue to support, facilitate the collections. And then at least people should have it in mind and prepare that this time round it's not like those days everything is free. Government should come and do everything free for you, pay for the refuse. And more to the point, what I still have to add is those days there used to be drama education. They shouldn't leave only the education for the few officers that enter house to house. Media, drama education that at least attract people and they change their behavior. I think all these angles, if they try them, to help to
All right, I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think we will end our conversation here for lack of time. And thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for watching today's episode of Youth Talk Africa. And as you heard them all, it's attitudinal. We all have to change our attitude. Thanks so much. Until the same time next week, keep watching Youth Talk Africa. My name is Ibrahim Hamid Banangman.